WNAA 90.1 The Voice. It's your boy Javon Hubbard here with my man Brad Brooks.
What's good?
Wanye Davis.
Poppin'.
And we are 3rd and 30. Oh man, college football, man. We're going to jump straight into that. It was a bad week for a lot of teams, man. What in the world is going on in college football? How do you guys feel about what's going on right now?
What we didn't think was going to happen, happened. Yeah. Ohio State losing, Penn State losing. Those are teams that we thought could sneak back in. They're obviously knocked out of the water.
Yeah.
Clemson pulled it off against NC State. That was a tough game. And Notre Dame handling their business, Miami handling their business against Virginia Tech. The top three pretty much stay intact. Oklahoma with that huge win against Oklahoma State.
On the road, too,
what you think about your boy Baker, Brad? What you think about your
boy
Baker?
Man?
He definitely made a statement, man. Like I said, it was on the road. Through 6 TDs, accounted for like close to 500 yards. And
close to 600.
Yeah, 600 actually.
Yep.
Sorry about that. But this man is a beast, man. They're definitely still in that playoff picture. I think when the rankings come out, Tuesday afternoon, we'll see that Oklahoma will probably be even in that 4th spot or that 5th spot, either above Clemson or under them. But this weekend, I think the team that really surprised me was Miami. Vegas had Miami as the team to lose against Virginia Tech at home. And, Miami's, been escaping games. They've been beating Chapel Hill barely, beating Syracuse barely, and Georgia Tech. But they made a statement.
Sure did.
I think Miami, the U is back. I don't know if that culture is still the same like in the
real
early
deal?
2000s. But I think
culture
Miami has that leverage that they can sneak in there, too. Because, they still got Notre Dame on their schedule.
Yeah.
And then they can face Clemson, too. Like,
So
they've
they
already
got-
won
yeah, they
that
got
coastal
chances.
division. So
They definitely have chances. I definitely see Oklahoma in the top 4. Now the college football committee surprised me with the first ranking, so I don't know what they're going to do with this rankings. But I have Oklahoma in at 3, Georgia in at 2, Alabama in at 1, and Clemson at 4. That's subject to change, like you said. Miami still has to face Notre Dame, and then Clemson in the ACC championship if everything goes how it plays. An interesting team to me is Auburn. Auburn has to play Georgia at home, and then they have Bama to end the year.
Yeah.
So, what do you guys think if they went out, beating the number 2 team and the number 1 team for the rest of the season?
Yes.
Their 2 losses, they can't make the SEC championship.
Yeah.
But does that get them propelled into the top 4?
I don't think so. I think the top 4 is too heavy right now. My top 4 was Alabama, Georgia. I was going to do Notre Dame. And then I like Clemson. I'm in between Clemson and Oklahoma. Yeah, but I'll say Oklahoma's in right now and Clemson on the way out just because of the State game. I really don't know how that's going to go. Like, not to mention, State is a good team, but I think to be in that top 4 team, they should have blown them out. I think in a better way than what happened.
Sure.
So I got them on the outside. I don't know about Auburn now. What do you think, Brad?
Yeah, as far as that question on Auburn, it's hard for me to put a 2-team loss, a team with 2 losses in the playoffs.
Yeah.
But if you beat Bama
and Georgia,
if they can beat those 2.
Yeah, that's if they can.
That really might propel them to that. Let's put them in the championship. But far as the playoff, I think the team that's hurting the most is Wisconsin. Wisconsin is that team. They just been getting by, haven't played a ranked opponent, and now they were going into the mindset. We'll play Ohio State. If we can knock them off, just win that one game. Maybe we can get to the playoffs. And it's like now Ohio State with 2 losses, Penn State with 2 losses, and now Michigan State's in that conversation to win the Big Ten East.
And Michigan.
So,
but the good thing is, as far as Wisconsin, yes, they'll probably get left out again. But all this stuff will work itself out because all the teams that we've named, except of course Oklahoma, because they're in the Big 12, play in a championship game.
Yeah.
So Wisconsin handles their business and goes to the championship game and wins, then they're in. It's no question about it. But it's going to be interesting.
So,
these next few weeks is going to be rough.
So 2 weeks in, we were locked in with Saquon Barkley being our Heisman. I mean, guys. So moving forward. Is it a race now? Is it a contest now? Are we? How we feeling?
Man, I think it's Baker's in the bags, man. Me personally, I've always thought the Heisman was a quarterback award. We saw Derrick Henry sneak in and get the Heisman a couple years ago. But the thing though with Saquon, I think it's the same thing. With Leonard Fournette, Lamar Jackson, even though he won it last year. The best player on the field gets gassed, man.
Yeah.
When you don't have the best team around the best player, they get gassed out. A lot of teams lock in on that. I think that's what we're seeing out of Saquon. And the thing with Baker Mayfield, he's the best quarterback in college football.
Yeah.
And this dude, what he's doing, elevating his team. They had the 1 loss at home, but so far he has big moments. He's been on the road beating Ohio State, been on the road beating Oklahoma State. So
it's not even close at this point. It was some talk about I like Sam Darnold at the beginning of the year. But, it's not even close anymore.
Yeah, it's really not.
Baker is on another level.
Baker solidified his Heisman Trophy with on Saturday's performance. I
Right.
mean, having close to 600 yards, 6 touchdowns at Oklahoma State against the number 11 team in the nation.
Right.
There's nothing that beats that. And with the win against Ohio State, at Ohio State, putting the Oklahoma flag in the center of their field, he got some Heisman
Now
moments.
that we switched our Heisman, we spoke about Saquon Barkley being NFL ready. We know that he's NFL ready. He's going to be a
absolutely.
great. How does Baker? How do you guys think Baker transfers over into the NFL?
The thing
He's
about quarterbacks is it's so hard because it's usually what system you're thrown in.
Right.
Pretty much any quarterback who goes to Cleveland with that organization and that team, you're pretty much a wash. I don't care. I don't care about how talented you are. I don't care whatever.
Yeah, it's a system game.
It's a system game. So it's all about who, but this quarterback class is deep. You got him, Lamar Jackson,
Josh
maybe
Allen from
Josh
Wyoming.
Allen.
Yeah.
You got Josh Rosen from UCLA, Sam Darnold. So this is going to be a deep quarterback class, kind of similar to last year's. We still got to wait to see how the draft order pans out. But Baker Mayfield, I feel like if he goes to a halfway decent team, he can be successful.
Yeah, as far as a prospect, I like Baker Mayfield. Like I said, he's, in my opinion, he's the best college quarterback right now at this very moment. But looking at him as an NFL prospect, it's hard to determine because, like you said, it's so much that goes into a quarterback. It's a lot of, sometimes it's not about how talented you are. It's about the system and how talented that is. And if you're mentally
and the
prepared,
mental,
if you are mentally
mental
prepared
makeup.
to be a quarterback. And for me, like Baker Mayfield, undersized quarterback, he has a lot of similar traits to me, like Russell Wilson, Johnny Manziel, but I don't think he is a Johnny Manziel type.
No.
I think it's something about him. He has that flair. He brings that dog mentality.
Yeah.
But if he goes to the right team, I think, second, third round, that's what we should aim at for Baker Mayfield.
Right.
And he could be one of those dudes that impresses, at a pro day and propels himself to the first round. But I don't see him with that upper echelon because so many scouts are going to look at, the size and just that eye test,
Absolutely.
which he will not be able to make. So.
Right.
Absolutely.
All right, guys. So moving forward, NFL was crazy this weekend, starting Thursday,
yeah.
but things got crazy. We're just gonna run through some of these games. Okay, first of all, Wanye, we're gonna go ahead and give you the floor.
You see it on,
Okay,
man.
for all of our listeners, if you're watching on our Facebook Live right now, Wanye has on a Randall Cunningham jersey right now, the throwback. He's happy about his team.
Philadelphia Eagles, man.
How you feeling right now, Wanye?
Man, you know how I'm feeling, man. It's a little cloudy outside. It's been a little rainy this weekend, but it's always sunny in Philadelphia, man. We're back 8-1. They got the number 1 total offense in the NFL. They got the number 1 rush defense. They got the MVP quarterback. I tried to tell you at the beginning of the year. Y'all didn't want to believe
He
me.
called it. He did call it.
I did call it. Carson Wentz completing 60% of his passes. He has 2,262 yards, 23 touchdowns, which leads the NFL, and only 5 picks. This man, he has the weapons around him. He got Torrey Smith. He got Alshon Jeffrey in the offseason. Nelson Aguilar finally looking like that first-round pick. They just picked up that man Jay Ajayi on Tuesday at the trade deadline. Man, I honestly...
What a time.
What a time to be an Eagles
a
fan.
time.
I've been around and stuff, and I'm seeing all these Eagles. I'm seeing all these Eagles hats and the Eagles hoodie, man. It makes me feel like I'm in Philadelphia. I don't know where they was at, but I was here.
They coming out the woodworks now.
I was here since Donovan, for Nick Foles, through Michael Vick, through everything.
So on the opposite side of things, how do you feel about the you guys just killed obviously Denver?
Yeah.
How do you guys feel about the Denver situation as far as quarterback? They sat down Simeon and they brought in Brock Osweiler, an old face, but nothing
blaming-
really
I'm blaming
happened.
John
It's time to start Paxton Lynch.
Yeah.
I feel like it's time to see what
I
else
think
you
Paxton
have.
Lynch was a starter last year, honestly.
I blame John Elway for their whole quarterback
Yeah, of
situation,
course.
man. Just because, we saw Simeon's beat out Paxton Lynch, the past 2 years. So, I'm questioning, is Paxton Lynch really the superstar that they have?
I
I
don't
feel
know
like-
what they're seeing that we don't see.
I feel like at this point, honestly, at this point, it's the defense. The defense, their Achilles heel is the defense. They don't have any star quarterbacks on their roster, so they're depending on their defense. For the Eagles to put up 30 points in the first half, that's unacceptable. Our offense ain't that good. And last week they got 30 put up on them, so they have to have that defense. But I think they've lost 4 straight. It's time to see what else you have.
Yeah.
The AFC West is very slim. The Chiefs are leading the division. Obviously, I don't see the Broncos creeping in to win the division nor making a wild card. You might as well see what you have and then then reevaluate in the offseason, see if you need to draft a quarterback.
Yeah, the Broncos are definitely.
Well, let's run through some of these games, guys. All right, so Buffalo losing out to the Jets. Benjamin didn't play. Kelvin Benjamin, didn't play against them. So, but still. I thought they would be able to get the job done, but they weren't able to get the job done against the Jets. Forte had a couple of touchdowns. He's looking like he's kind of reemerging as well. They're using him in the passing game a lot.
Yeah.
I still can't stand Matt Forte. I think he's a terrible running back.
Yeah, absolutely.
Needs to retire. But, you know what I'm saying?
Shout
Aside,
out,
they got the
but
win.
Side shout out to Todd Bowles and the job he's
Yeah,
doing in New
Yeah,
York.
a lot of
You
people
know,
thought they was gonna win.
yeah,
a lot of
games,
people
so-
thought he would be 0
And he
16.
came in as one of the people on the hot seat already. They
Exactly.
thought was, you know, he's after this, he's out of here.
I thought he was going to go 0 16, maybe 2 14 at best.
Right.
And I mean, he got
Yeah,
the boys
they're
playing
definitely
well.
outperforming what we thought.
Absolutely.
Carolina, those boys getting the job done against Atlanta. How you feel about that?
Man, hey man, keep pounding till I die, man. But the thing is, like I said last week, I'm happy. I'm very ecstatic. You know, they're winning. They have a chance, you know, to win the NFC South. But they look rather not impressive. You know, Carolina is winning. You know, because of their defense.
Right.
We all know that.
Right.
You know, the offense still doesn't, you know, really have balance. You know, they haven't been able to run the ball as well in the past. Jonathan Stewart, shout out to my man Landon because, you know, we were talking before coming on here. Jonathan Stewart, it's time to go. You know, Jonathan Stewart, you're getting old. You're running yourself into the dirt. Like, it's time to go,
Time to get him
man.
out of
You know,
here.
I like Christian McCaffrey, but I don't think we have the OC that knows how to use, you know,
Yeah.
that type of
Yeah,
playmaker.
it's all
You
about
know, so
usage.
we got a running back that is really primarily just catching the ball out the backfield,
Yeah.
and we're trying to make him become an in between the tackles runner, which he's not. So
Right.
that's something I'm not really a fan of right now. But hey, we're 6-3, so keep pounding,
yeah.
man.
Jacksonville, those Jacksonville boys, as you know, Fournette was not able to play because he didn't take
Man,
the
missed the- missed the
he
team photo.
missed the team photo, so he wasn't able to play with the team. But they still did get it done. Chris Ivory doing 100 yards, no touchdown. Also, he
Jalen
was
Ramsey
too-
taking one for the team.
Exactly.
Getting beat up a little bit.
Getting put in a choke slam, you know, but it's all good.
Yeah,
They got it done against Cincinnati 23-7.
That
So how do you
defense
guys
is
feel
for
about
real.
that? Yeah.
That
I mean,
defense
yeah,
is for
Jacksonville's defense is for real. AJ Green not being in the game for the rest of the game, getting ejected. And Jalen Ramsey, I thought that was unfair that he got ejected.
And he
pretty
didn't do
much-
anything. Yeah,
He didn't do
anything
it.
in
I
the
mean, yeah, he
situation.
pushed him, but that happens literally every play if you know football.
But I
And then
mean,
he
look,
got
when
chokeslammed.
you put the clamps on somebody, it's like we mentioned, it's a mental game, right? We mentioned how the NFL football in general is a mental game.
Absolutely.
And you could be, you know, he might have said some little slicks up because we know
Of course,
Jalen Ramsey to be a
that's
junk
football.
talker. We
That's
saw him
football.
last year with the Steve Smith situation.
Yeah.
But we know him to be a junk talker. But he seems to be someone that has that vet mentality of getting in people's heads. Like, and that, I mean, even when he's playing against vets, I mean, and that shows. You
Gotta
saw
have it.
what he did, like he was able to do against AJ Green and get
Exactly.
AJ Green, like we said, put him in a choke slam. But you know.
And it's a bold statement. That's the best secondary in football right now,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah.
But that's a bold. This is a bold statement, but that's the best secondary in football right,
Right.
now with Ramsey and Bowie, and you know you got Barry Church back there
Deshaun
at safety. Yeah, man, that whole defense: Telvin Smith, Calais Campbell, Malik Jackson. I can go on, man. That defense is for real, man.
All right, we're gonna move on to one of the hottest teams in the NFL as well. This is one of Brad's favorite teams, the LA Rams, man.
Man.
How you feeling about that? 51-17
Shoot.
against a bad Giants team.
Hey
So,
man, Wanye, he stated it. You know, Carson Wentz is the best young quarterback, and I'm agreeing with that now. I definitely
Yeah,
agree.
you
Deshaun
can't
Watson
deny it at this
hurt,
point. Yeah.
but you can't deny what LA is doing, man. What Sean McVay was able to turn around because you know we
Yes,
saw,
Yes,
sir.
yeah. Well, like last year we saw with Jeff Fisher, this team looked flat. You know, they tried to start Case Keenum for a couple of weeks, didn't
Yep.
work, and then when they threw Jared Goff out there in the fire, he just wasn't ready. You know, he was one of those quarterbacks you didn't have much to work with, no offensive line. He was running Todd Gurley into the ground, but like this year they got some weapons. They got
Got
Cooper
some
Kupp,
weapons around
Robert
him.
Woods, Sammy Watkins,
Robert Woods,
Todd Gurley.
4th
is
and
ball-
33, man.
Yeah.
Third and
33. Third and
That's
33.
pathetic.
That
New
is-
York
I mean-
Giants, that is pathetic. But I really like what I'm
That's a
seeing
headache.
out of Jared Goff and the Rams. You know, I can't wait to see when they play the Eagles because
Yeah.
that's what I think is the biggest threat right now.
Right.
As far as the
Absolutely.
NFC,
Yeah,
I think
Absolutely,
that's
and
the biggest
their
threat.
defense, you know, they're very similar. I feel like the Rams have more offensive weapons, but I feel like Carson Wentz is a better quarterback. But as far as those defenses, those front sevens,
Yeah.
it's gonna be a
And then
serious-
even that
it's
balance
gonna
now
be
with
a
Jay
serious-
Ajayi
It's
now.
tough, yeah.
Exactly, they got Jay Ajayi, they got
And
LeGarrette
their offensive weapons, you could argue that. I mean, come on.
Yeah, that's taking poison on that one.
Come on, man.
Exactly.
That's arguable.
So
Like,
we'll see. You know, the Eagles got some tough games, and so do the Rams. The Rams
Yeah.
have to win out, and
Yeah.
they still got the Seattle creeping on them. So it's
Yep.
gonna be an interesting NFC picture.
So Tennessee getting it done against Baltimore wasn't pretty. It was 23-10, but they got it done. How do you guys feel about Mariota and those boys? I mean, I don't know. For me, I don't know how. I don't like their offense too much. I don't think that they're.
No.
I mean, it's kind of stagnant. Honestly,
It
you know,
really
it
does.
feels stagnant. The running game isn't moving anywhere.
Corey
you got
Davis
two
isn't
running backs
doing
who are
anything.
good. DeMarco Murray and you got Henry back there. Both of those guys, I mean, should be able to move the ball. It was an ugly game.
They've been in addition to the Buccaneers, they've been a very disappointing team this year.
Right.
As far as the team who we expected to make that next step.
Right.
You know, that next step, making
especially
it to
after Mariota's last season.
Exactly. We thought they could make that next step. They just haven't. They
Right.
just haven't gotten together. But hopefully they will next year. But it does look very, very, very stagnant.
Arizona, go all over 20-10, all over San Francisco. Man, Adrian Peterson. Running. No touchdown.
Yeah, only 27 carries when he was in New Orleans.
37
carries yesterday.
Man,
you see what happened?
157 yards. Come on.
See what happens when you give the old man the rock.
And now that Carson Palmer's injured, you got to
at this point. I mean, we're not moving with Drew Stanton. I mean, you have to give the man the ball at this point.
Got to.
Yes, sir. Moving forward, Washington and Seattle.
Ooh.
Washington getting that close win. Seattle's was your second half team that you spoke about.
Oh yeah, and they lost a tough one. Kirk Cousins, they're going to have to pay that man his money, or somebody else will.
Yeah, they're not going to, but yeah.
I'm trying to tell you, he threw a go route to Josh Doxson to put him in.
Yes, sir.
That was on the money.
Sir.
In Seattle, give that man his money. But Seattle, I mean, they dropped a tough game. Their offense looked back to how it did in the first half of the season. But I still think they'll pick it up. I think they'll sneak into the wild card, honestly, though. But it was a tough game.
Oakland and Miami. How do you guys feel about that? That was Miami, I guess, having their first game without Jay Ajayi. They used two running backs. They used Damian Williams, and they also used Kenyon Drake. They both did pretty good.
They played well.
And Damian Williams was able to get to the end zone with that short pass. I don't know if you guys saw that, but he bounced off of like three defenders.
And
jumped in. I said, wow, that was crazy.
For all you young kids playing football, wrap up.
And
they don't want to do that.
Jay Cutler, though, coming off of injury, didn't have a bad game. Jay Cutler threw 3 touchdowns. I mean, of course we know that's a fluke in what, has been not a great season for him, obviously, and not a great career either. But moving forward, I mean, with him, do you think he can turn something around and maybe?
I don't think that's the long-term option.
Yeah, is that longevity?
It's definitely not the long-term
And I think, honestly, even when Tannehill comes back, I think, they'll probably get ready to void his contract or work something. I think the quarterback to watch out for in Miami, I think Teddy Bridgewater could end up in Miami.
Oh, yeah.
I think, this offseason.
You think he might leave?
Well, I'm not even just getting rid of him. I don't think Minnesota wants to dispose of him because that was the first round investment.
Yeah.
But the thing is, they're winning with Case Keenum.
Case Keenum isn't messing up.
Even Sam Bradford, it's just like anyone who you implement in that Minnesota at quarterback with that defense right now, they're gonna win.
Yeah.
And it's like I can see Teddy Bridgewater possibly going to Miami. That's his hometown.
Interesting.
That is interesting. That's possible.
Interesting.
Dallas getting a win 28-17 over KC.
How about them Cowboys?
Nothing.
How about them Cowboys?
Them.
Hey, they still got a chance to win the NFC East, man.
They got a chance, but I feel like this Zeke suspension is going to creep up on him, and it's going to happen at the worst
they keep getting
time.
lucky. They keep getting lucky. He's
not
playing, and then Friday comes and he's playing again.
Yeah,
so
it's gonna come at the worst possible time. I'm trying to tell you, that's just the Dallas Cowboys.
But I'm gonna tell you what though, as long as Zeke is on that field, man, there's nothing you can do with him.
He is. And we saw that last year.
I mean, it's nothing you can do. He's for real. He's the real deal.
And that offensive line is starting to pick up.
They're back.
Dirty soda and styrofoam. Spend a day to get my mind blown. Dress it up and go to Nassau.